welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
Against the Grain Talk Show.
Good to be back.
We've got a little thing to talk about tonight.
It's gonna be a shit show.
How do you feel, being from the military, about treason?
You never go against your own people, bro.
Right?
Never. Like, it doesn't matter.
That seems like a kind of a core principle.
Yeah.
From the military.
Snitches get stitches.
Well, not only that, but just,
snitches
you're working
get
for
fired. The firing squad.
You're working for the American government. You should be for the American government, right?
Facts. Man, what's so crazy is, like, before you get deployed in the military, you get all these briefings, right? And then they tell you about all these different things that you can and can't do, like rules of engagement, like what'll happen if you like choose to go AWOL or some shit, like
right.
What'll do, like they even tell you what to do if you ever get captured and you got to destroy all of your, important information on your person and your radio and all of this stuff. Like they go in depth into deep, and then they tell you all the consequences behind doing treasonous activities. And is treasonous a word?
It
sounds great.
Treasonous.
Yeah,
sure.
It sounds like a
sure.
great.
If it's not a word, we're making
it one today, right here on Against the Grain.
So our top military leader,
top.
Like top.
You can't get no topper than that than the president.
Well, not only the president, but General Milley.
Man,
right?
Wasn't he supposed to be on our side?
I thought he was, and maybe it was that Trump was just such a threat.
Yeah.
So basically, what comes out in the news
bad.
is that Woodrow and I forget the other dude's name. They just published a book, and they got some transcripts from General Milley talking to his counterpart in China.
Okay.
Saying basically that before, like, even the January 6th riots happened, that General Milley was concerned that President Trump was basically off his rocker and that he was going to start World War III with China.
Wow.
So he called his military counterpart in China and said, y'all don't have to worry. He said, I got this on lock. Said, don't worry about it. Said, if Trump decides that he's going to attack you, I'm going to tell you before.
So there won't be a surprise.
So it won't be a surprise.
What a snake. Dude, I'm over it right now, man, because this main reason right here. When is it that these politicians are going to be held accountable for the things that they're doing? These politicians, these upper echelon individuals in politics, in government, in the military, whatever it may be, they're doing all these illegal activities and these things that are considered treason. Fauci had emails that showed him being connected to China.
Right.
President Biden has a son that has a laptop that is connecting him to Russia.
Yeah.
There is no denying these things, people. You can go and look these things up, right?
But here's the thing about every time that somebody is caught, and I guarantee you, so this just came out today. Today is the 15th, so this will come out probably either Friday or Saturday. But just know this was Wednesday, the 15th, that this is all coming out.
Right.
I bet you by next week, something else comes up that completely covers this up and nobody's talking about it anymore.
Nobody's talking about it.
So even the thing with like Hunter Biden, right? So go back to him. We'll start kind of back there, with his laptop. And basically he was doing insider trading with Russia, and they were paying him buttloads of money,
right,
to come in and be
energy consultant,
or something like that, right? They're paying him millions of dollars. Stupid money.
Something he's not even qualified to. We're talking about Hunter Biden, the cocaine buddy. We're talking about that guy.
Yep.
The one that literally did interviews talking about how much crack cocaine. He talking about he used to sniff Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
And we're talking
about an illegal weapon, dumped it behind like a CVS or something like that. It was found by near a school, no less.
Yeah.
And then still nothing has come of this.
Right. And on top of that, he's such a shitbird. He's so lost and off his rocker. Hunter Biden mistakenly loses or misplaces his laptop, takes it to a computer store where he leaves it.
Yeah, to be repaired.
To be repaired.
Never goes and
gets it. Literally, it's there. He forgets about it. It's there for so long that it becomes the property of the computer store, and the computer owner of the store goes into it, and he finds all kinds of just craziness. I'm talking about pictures of Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
We're talking about children. We're talking about political emails. We're talking about just things that would literally put Hunter Biden behind bars, along with his family and anybody.
If
that
he was
is in cahoots
anybody
with him.
else than a politician's son,
yeah,
like if he was just me or you,
oh, bro, if I was talking to Russia,
no doubt about it,
they would have me under the jail. Okay, they would have me in front of the firing squad before you can say go ahead and load your mags. You know, like dude, it's crazy, and I don't understand, and I constantly tell people this. Our politicians, our government is corrupt on every level. That's why none of these politicians, I don't care if you're on the left, I don't care if you're on the right, the far left, the far right, it does not matter. All these politicians are crooked. All of them are figuring, they all have their own agenda, and they are not working for the people. They might seem like it, and I know like somebody might be on the far right saying, oh my God, you know, they want what's best for the people. They want what? No, they don't, man.
Yeah.
They don't. None of them do, because they just have their own agendas to push because they want power for their people.
Right. And I would say that kind of like along that line that the Republican side that wants the power right now, they're struggling to get it. And so they're gonna tell us a lot of things that we want in order to try to shift that momentum in the other direction.
Got to change power.
As soon as it goes in their favor,
yeah,
it's going to do the same thing. They're going to start going too far with it. So, but we got to get it back to that middle, and then we got to stay focused on keeping it right there in the middle.
Yeah, you know what I kind of noticed, bro? If you look at the Democrats and you look at the Republicans, both sides are going to give us a bunch of bullshit to get what they want and to get power in office and to get all these seats in the Senate and all this different stuff going on. They're all going to tell us what we want, right? But it just turns out that like both of them pretty much want the same thing, except they go about getting it in different ways. So like you got your Democrats who use things that are going on like racism and they use people. They use people, right? And like their connections to and their power to manipulate the human mind and manipulate the hearts and minds of people. That's what Democrats do. Republicans are more on the wealthy side. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're more of like your hard workers and things like that. Like, you know, your business owners, your people that are like, you know, like your typical, you know, American, diehard American type things like that. Not 100%, but typically, right? So they kind of stick together a little bit more. Your Democrats, when they run for office, bro, they're just picketing. They're just trying to get whatever, you know, like they're using certain things against the other side, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's really weird on how they all want the same thing. They just want to go about getting it differently.
So let's kind of, because as far as the Democrats using things in order to benefit them politically, right? So when this whole Hunter Biden thing came out, right? It was before the 2020 election.
Facts.
Right. And CNN, MSNBC, Facebook, Twitter, all your main media sources, outlets, all your social medias, they buried the story.
Oh my God. You couldn't find it on anything.
The people that broke the story, which I believe it was the New York Post. It might have been. It was either New York Post or Washington Post. One of those, whichever one is the right side. I get confused, but they broke the story, right? And they said, "Hey, you know, this is was it? I think anyway. Regardless of what the outlet broke the news, right? And they said, you know, this is what we found, and Facebook and Twitter took it off as what was it? It was like a privacy thing or something like that. Is what they labeled it under, and then. Nobody questioned Biden on it. Nobody. There was nothing. Whoa. They covered it so hard.
Bro, didn't they have emails like what you're talking about? Didn't they have emails too that Biden actually talked to them as well. Yeah, he was actually a part of it. Like he actually had words.
There's a video of him saying, because there was it had something to do with an investigation going on into that company that Hunter Biden was a part of.
That electric company.
Right. And Biden basically said to Ukraine, he said, if you don't fire this prosecutor, he's like, then you're not getting your military funding from the United States. And he's on video bragging about how in 6 hours they had him fired. I'm like, that's not a red flag for anybody. At the same point, they're doing this Ukraine investigation into Trump about how he withheld funds from Ukraine in order to get something from them. And they're doing a full-blown impeachment on him about it. And yet this story, when it's on the other side, gets completely glossed over.
I just don't understand how the Democrats can get away with murder, but for some reason the Republicans just can't seem to get away with shit, man.
It has to do, I think, with the institutional powers that be right now and how far left all of them are. So when you're talking about our major institutions like our education system, our media, our entertainment, our, whatever it is, I guarantee you most of it, if not all of it, is left-leaning.
Facts.
So that's the reason why they're able to get away with so much, is because they have so many people on their side to, if there's something that does come out, they're able to just be like, oh, well, we'll just brush this under. And, oh, did you see what Trump did today? Well, let's bring up that. I was like,
yeah.
What about this thing? Like,
dude, let's
talk about this thing a little bit more.
Let's just talk about the past. Let's just bring up like the past 30 days. In the past 30 days, we had the New York governor, Cuomo, got fired, right?
He got fired for sexual allegations.
Sexual allegations.
Allegations because none of it has been proven in court yet, but he stepped down because of it.
Right. So he stepped down because of the allegations before he got brought in for killing all those old people in that home.
Yep.
And the reason that this is just me.
That was another thing that they glossed over.
And I feel that they did that and they got him over the sexual harassment stuff was because if they would have got him over the old people in that home that he killed, it would have brought down a lot more people. And it would have brought down a part of their chain that they need to make this monster run. And so they were like, hey, you know what? We got to take the lesser of two evils, man. They were like, hey, we got to get him for this. And that's what he did, and he took that L and he took it for their team because all of them are working together.
Yeah.
So
like a lot of that stuff with Andrew Cuomo, that stuff had been known. Like we knew that he was killing people by sending them back into nursing homes way back in like March of 2020.
Oh, yeah, bro. He's been doing that.
Or May or whatever. I was telling people and they were like, no, he's not doing that. I'm like, just freaking do some research. You can see what's going on. They're like, well, CNN says he's not doing. He said
people don't know what research is,
governor
bro.
Ever.
People don't know what research is, bro. People think. See, this is why the government is doing what they're doing right now. Is because we as people have gotten so spoiled to where we're used to the government making our decisions for us, taking care of us, doing certain things for us, and we don't have to think about it because the average American has gotten to the point where they just feel that they're comfortable with where they are in their lives, and everybody was winning until 2020 hit, and this pandemic hit, and it really showed what was going on. And they use this virus in order to solidify what they needed to do with the minds of the people, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So when we're talking about what the left does in order to display the right's momentum. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got the Andrew Cuomo, you got, Fauci, talking his bullshit. You got,
did you hear what Fauci?
Hunter Biden.
Yes.
And now this whole General Milley thing coming out. And, the left is still obsessed with what happened on January 6th with the 100 or so people that went in and got a little rowdy, and they say that they tried to overthrow the government. Our government was nowhere near being overthrown that day.
How could they overthrow the government with one rally? Like, they didn't even have enough people.
They didn't even have guns.
They didn't even have weapons.
There was a reporting saying that, oh yeah, they use guns, and none of the investigations that they've done have they found anybody that actually had a gun with them.
Did you know they still haven't released the camera footage from that day?
The only person, I didn't know that, but the only person that was shot was shot by Capitol Police.
Yeah.
And she was climbing through a window and he shot her.
And they still haven't taken him to court for that.
No, they're not going to. They're not going to.
That's crazy. I want to know why they didn't release I want to know why we don't have the camera footage. Do you know how many cameras we have?
Because the camera footage is only beneficial if it benefits the Democratic Party.
Right. And that's everything. Nothing is going to work unless it's benefiting them. Like, that's where we are right now, people, where they will not release specific information unless it benefits their story, their agenda. Like Biden said, it's not about our health, it's not about our freedom.
His speech when he was coming out with that should scare every single American to death. Yeah. That he so blatantly was able to go on television, look the American people in the face and say, your rights don't matter because you're not making the right decision.
Right.
It should not be the job of government to do any of that.
The fact, and then can you believe he actually said that when literally few months ago, let's not even talk about like right when the pandemic and before the election, they were saying, oh, they would never touch this vaccine.
They're liars. It's straight up liars.
They will never make it a mandate on vaccines. That's not the job of the federal government to mandate vaccines and mandate this and force people to do this. And then what are y'all doing now?
They're mandating everything.
They're mandating everything after they came. Yeah. It's because they think that we are so stupid that we don't have the minds to remember that. That's true.
And sorry that, if you're somebody that likes Joe Biden and says, hey, he's doing a good job, you're dumb. Like,
how do you not see this?
Like, if you just go through the timeline and he's had 40 years or so in office. What has he done that's beneficial?
Why is he not canceled? Do you know how many times he called us the N-word? You can Google it. Y'all want to cancel Eminem from something he said back in the 90s, but you won't cancel Joe Biden for calling us monkeys and all kinds of coons and stuff?
Yeah.
Like he's our president. Y'all can Google these things.
But I'm more saying just like his overall track record, not even necessarily like his rhetoric or anything like that. But just his track record on what he's done for America versus what he hasn't done for America. And what he's done that's detrimental to America. Like, he literally is doing nothing right now.
The crime bill. He did that.
He did the crime bill.
He did the crime bill. That put a lot of
African Americans
sent a lot of my people to jail.
Into jail.
That
unjustly.
That bill alone.
Well, not unjustly, but you know
what
I mean.
Exactly. Unfairly.
More like too extreme.
Too extreme. Yeah. Way too extreme. Criminals deserve what criminals get. Right. I understand that. But for that crime bill finished off the black community.
It put way harder sentences on things that were, quote, normally committed by African Americans, as opposed to what, that your average white person would commit.
Right.
So like harsher sentences on cocaine versus crack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And these are things that they flooded into it. They flooded these, like, everyone knows that the government has psyops and shit going on, and everyone knows that guns and drugs are being flooded into the black communities because of certain things, but we're not going to go down that. But to think about that, and you wonder why 70% of black people aren't getting vaccinated. You wonder why 70% of black people aren't listening to the government now about anything that they're talking about, because we don't trust them.
And then you have freaking basically segregation going on up in these states like New York, Chicago, and LA.
Only vaccinated
people can go out in public now.
Yes.
Who is that hurting?
Dude.
Most white people are getting this vaccine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
True.
But the majority of black people are not.
Nope.
So you're by necessity of the mandates,
dude,
excluding a large number of minority communities from participating in society.
Minorities have thrown a wrench in this agenda to vaccinate all of these people. Black people are like number one on the list to get vaccinated because we're always number one on everything when it comes to vaccination and anything else that's experimental. But we sat here and we are denying the vaccine. They are so pissed that they started coming up with wild shit. They said, we're going to go door to door on these motherfuckers. And then they realized, damn, it's going to be hard to go door to door in the hood.
Yeah.
A bunch of us white folks walking around talking about y'all gonna get this shot might not go over well.
I would pay money to see it. Like just let that play out. Let them have it.
You see, that only lasted a week. Like, I don't even think they put it into motion. They were so scared.
Right,
bro.
but when we're talking about like the left's tactics, right? So they're wanting everybody to go in and get vaccinated. They're requiring you have an ID to go out in public now. Mm-hmm. But at the same point, your voter ID is racist.
Right. You can't have you don't need no voter ID because that's racist.
You don't need an ID to vote for the policies going on in this country, to be a contributing adult in society in that retrospect. But in order to go to sit down in a McDonald's, you have to have an ID.
Gotta have it in a mask.
How does that make any sense? Like, it blows my mind.
You know what else blows my mind? It blows my mind that we are being forced, starting with our federal people and people that have over 100. That means anyone that has over 100 people working for them.
100 million workers.
That's 100 million workers. So you're telling me that you're going to force Americans that pay taxes to get vaccinated, but all these immigrants coming in from south of the border don't have to get vaccinated. We literally stop them at these checkpoints, and with U.S. tax dollars, we provide them buses and from the middle of the fucking desert. We provide them buses and ship them all over the country.
Yep, drop them off and then
drop them off wherever. No, they don't have to get tested. They don't have to get vaccinated. They don't have to do any of that. Are you kidding me?
No.
We just had the Afghanistan thing. We brought over all these planes for those days that were coming over, bro, for that week. Dude, thousands and thousands and thousands of Afghanis that are unvaccinated, that are untested. You're just bringing them over here to this country and you're giving them money. You're giving, like, they don't even have to get green cards, bro.
No. So I want to talk about that a little bit too while we're on this track of treasonous activities. So General Milley going out there and colluding basically with China, saying, you know, if the president of the elected president of our democratic society says that, you know, we're going to do something to China, I'm going to warn you beforehand. That way you can take care of it. Like, because we don't trust this guy and he's delusional. He made calls to Nancy Pelosi and she was like, oh, yes, I'm so scared of the president. Like, what are you talking about?
Why is she even still in office? Who votes for her?
I cannot wait for 2022 because I guarantee you that in 2022, with the momentum that we have right now and how badly the Democrats are effing everything up, that we're taking Senate seats. We're taking House seats.
Oh my God, bro. Do you know why all this stuff is imploding on them?
So let's kind of we keep going off, but
I'm sorry.
So we'll get back to that.
We'll get back to it.
But so when you're talking about this treasonous activity, right? We just not 2 weeks ago had our president pull out our military from Afghanistan, leave now what is now, because Ron Paul was just talking to, I forget who, but had a Senate hearing over it, and it was asking him, you know, how many Americans are still left in Afghanistan. He said thousands of Americans still left in Afghanistan, unable to get out, and he just pulled out our military all willy-nilly. Didn't have an exit strategy at all, in place. But blamed it on the previous president.
Facts.
Because of his ineptitude, and people are still so blind, and they're rolling over this now.
And then not only that about Afghanistan, bro, he sits there and leaves Americans there. After he leaves Americans there, he pulls out and leaves billions of dollars of American money over there, American equipment, and he sends out a drone strike. The drone strike doesn't even kill who they think it kills. It ends up killing some random ass Afghanistan worker, right? And they're saying, "Oh,
that was working with the Americans."
Yeah, that was working with the Americans, delivering water, right? They'll bomb that. But before we left, why don't we bomb the whole air base, bro? Why didn't we say, if y'all don't get out of that air base in 20 minutes, you will die? Yeah. And we should have bombed and destroyed every helicopter, every airplane, all of the guns, all the weapons, all the money, everything. That place should have been in dirt.
And yeah, and it might have been a huge waste of money, but it already was a huge waste of money.
Now we're going to have a huge waste of lives, because now in a year or so, we're going to be back over there with Afghanistan. We're going to be back in Afghanistan fighting them. and they're going to be killing us with all their own. If you think that we were over there for 20 years. If you think we lost a lot of lives then, in less than half the time, we're going to have more deaths.
Not only that, but now the Taliban is now, in talks with China.
They're chopping up with China,
and we left $85 billion in equipment.
Man, dude, they're walking around with body armor on. Dude, they didn't have body armor when we first were fighting them. Now they have the same exact armor and everything. We're fighting ourselves, people.
They come in, they take over Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. Not only are they richer because of the assets that they get in Afghanistan, lithium, but now they have $85 million worth of equipment that they didn't have to purchase. They didn't have to make. They didn't have to do anything for it. They just have it now. So now they have bargaining chips. So for these countries that want our equipment, want our intellectual properties and stuff like that we left over there. Mm-hmm. Tell you what, Taliban's sitting there. Tell you what. Make a deal with me and you can have this helicopter.
You know what's so funny about the helicopters and stuff? The dude that Ron Paul was interviewing said, he was like, so what are we going to do with all the helicopters? We should have destroyed it. The dude says, you know what? He was like, there will be, he was like, because they can't do maintenance and provide all the stuff to them, that they won't be using them for long.
You don't think they can find somebody to pay to do that?
Dude, they used to hire snipers and stuff that were not even a part of the Afghanistan army or the Iraq army, and they weren't even a part of the terrorist acts and stuff like that. But they used to hire these soldiers to come over there. These, what do they call them?
Like mercenaries?
Like mercenaries and stuff to come over there, and they used to kill us, right? And they were amazing snipers. They were amazing fighters, and they used to come over and just kill us. Why don't you think they would hire people to come over there and fix some Chinooks? Some helicopters.
We believe them because they're trying to establish themselves as
and then we're going to give them. Did you hear we're giving them billions of more dollars?
I hadn't heard anything about that yet.
It was in that same interview. He says that we've already given them billions of dollars. How about instead of us giving them even more billions for good conduct,
send them a check.
How about we deduct billions for all the money that they took from us, all the military equipment that they just stole from us? He was like, how about we deduct that and then we actually charge them, so they owe us about 70 million, 70 billion.
I'm getting my invoice ready. I'm going to send it to the Taliban.
I know,
see
bro.
How that works
I'm sending
that's
you
my taxpayer dollars, and I want some of it back.
I want my money back, bro. I want to know why we keep sending over all these billions and billions of dollars to these other countries and stuff, but let alone we're only getting $1,200 stimulus checks.
Yeah.
What?
Well, the whole stimulus checks is bullshit anyway.
What?
It's not helping anything. It never helped anybody.
It would help. You know what? It would have helped if we wouldn't have been sending trillions of dollars outside of our people.
Yeah.
But we're more worried about pretending that we're still this world power instead of protecting the resources that make us a world power, which are the people. Well, so what are they going to do when they kill off
our natural gas and oil and everything like that too was out of the roof, and then Biden shuts that down.
Oh my God, man!
So now we're dependent on Russia again and the Middle East for our oil. And how does it make any sense?
You know what's treasonous to me? I'm a veteran, bro, and you know what's treasonous? To force your military, which is only 1% of the United States population, only 1% of the United States population is in the military, right? You're going to force the military to get vaccines, or they can quit. So there's going to be a bigger majority that is going to quit than get the vaccine. And then we don't know what's going to happen with this vaccine. So a portion of those soldiers that do stay and get the vaccine are going to get sick. They're going to have some kind of side effects. They're going to have something going on. To me, that's treasonous. Because now you're cutting in half our fighting force to defend our country. The Taliban and China are now in cahoots with each other, and they're working together. They've blown up the Twin Towers. September 11th was just a couple of days ago. For me, bro, now that I'm awake, I'm starting to add all this shit up, bro. And to me, it just sounds like we're being destroyed from the inside so that someone can come in and take over America, bro.
So it definitely feels like here in the next 15 years, 20 years, even 50 years, that it would kind of behoove you to start learning Mandarin. I mean, that's just kind of the direction we're heading. I mean, China owns so much of our debt right now. I think they own well more than 50% of our debt. and the deals that are being made under the table that we're not even seeing.
Right.
Like we couldn't even imagine, I'm sure.
Why? So, how come why is it legal for these politicians to be able to make these deals without talking to the people? Like, it's just weird for me that they can do all of these things we know nothing about but affect our lives.
A lot of it is because, over the last 100 or so years, we've slowly given more and more power to these politicians. It used to be that, anything that they had to vote on, it would be directly correlated to what the people want. Mm-hmm. But now they're able to, because they have so much institutional power, they're able to do a lot of things that we don't even see.
Right.
Like, it's never brought up, and they're able to unilaterally go through and make these decisions without the consent of the American people. And when you're talking about consent too, so we elect certain people into office, and we elect. So they come out on a ballot. We put down that we want them in office, and then they go and do the job that we hired them to do.
Facts.
A lot of these people, like General Milley, he's not an elected official. He was an appointed official by an elected president, right? So that gets into a whole nother area of with what he did was. He's not even an elected official, mm-hmm. and he, as basically a citizen, went and undermined the president and went to a foreign power and said, hey, you know what? If they get a little too rowdy over here, I'm going to let you know. Mm-hmm. How is that not treason?
Hey, and we're not going to let him drop another atomic bomb on y'all. I'm going to let you know it won't be another surprise.
And the whole thing that stemmed from that was the rhetoric that Trump was saying about China and them causing this virus, mm-hmm. right? Which it's come out that pretty much, China was responsible for the virus. Like,
it came out of Wuhan. Wuhan's in China. Like, let's stop playing. Like, if you believe that this virus came from a bat, then you're also the person that believes that AIDS came from a monkey.
That's
And we all know AIDS didn't come from a damn monkey. And guess what? The same person that said that AIDS came from a monkey said that the fucking virus came from a bat.
Man. This guy likes making up things about animals.
I think he has like a fetish with.
They need to get a better PR person for the animal society.
We need to check this dude out on bestiality because he got some funny shit. Hey, Fauci, we got you, bruh. Oh, funny. He kind of do look like a little mole rat, don't he?
Like a naked mole rat almost.
Naked mole rat.
Put a little wig on him.
I know, bro. Like, Fauci is crazy, bro. But like, so I'm sitting here thinking, bro, just about how much treason is going on around here, bro. So much treason. It's treason to force the American people to put something in their bodies that they don't want.
So I had a discussion today, and it was based around the fact that, as far as mandating a vaccine, right, that we do have certain instances in America where vaccines are mandatory, right?
Right.
But that is also a choice,
right.
So if you go into the healthcare field, you're going to be needing to get certain vaccinations mm-hmm. in order to be able to work in the healthcare field.
Facts.
It is a choice to go into that industry knowing ahead of time that you're going to have to do these certain things in order to have this job, right?
Understood.
When you send your kids to public school, right, they have to be vaccinated, and they have to have certain vaccines in order to go into public school.
Or you can or you have waivers, but there's always a way to get your kid into school.
So what waivers?
You can get like religious waivers. You can get waivers that say your doctor doesn't allow your kids to get certain vaccines because it doesn't go along with, okay. his.
So but for the majority, right, is that it is required
Facts.
That you have
100%.
But those vaccines that they're mandating for those types of jobs, they're generally a one and done type of thing, mm-hmm. right? So you mm-hmm. get your measles, your mumps, your chicken pox, your HIV, or your not
I still
HIV,
haven't had chicken pox. Is that bad?
You haven't had chicken pox?
Am I going to die?
Man.
Am I contagious?
Not yet.
Oh, shit.
Just wait until one of my kids get it, and then
make sure y'all tell me,
we'll
bro.
Give it to you. We'll get this done with.
I need to do some research.
So I had just on a little side note, I had a friend back in like high school that they didn't have vaccines, right? And so one of our other friends, they got the chicken pox. Mm-hmm. And the parents thought, oh, well, we'll just get this all done at once, get all the kids to get the chicken pox at the same time. So they give them lollipops, and they were like sharing lollipops. And like the parents were trying to get the other kids to get the chicken pox. Everybody got the chicken pox. Like, I'm like, wow, really? Like, you like intentionally infected your kids with the chicken pox to get them, like, just so they would all get it done with? I'm like, wow. But like I was saying with it is that, you know, these are one and done type of shots,
right? And
you know, they don't require, well, for the healthcare industry, they kind of do require that you get the flu shot every year, but for like your school kids, they're not required to get the flu shot every year.
No, it's personal. It's a personal choice.
Right.
Never has the flu shot been mandatory for anyone.
The flu is also more dangerous to kids,
dude,
than the coronavirus
is. The flu has killed more kids in a matter of months than COVID did in the whole time it's been out for a year. Flu is more dangerous to the entire world population, not just adults. The COVID virus is deadly only to adults. It's not deadly to kids.
Yeah,
you know,
and when you're talking about, when you say it's deadly to adults, it's mainly deadly to people over the age of 85 and that have significant weight or health issues.
True. Look, basically what they're telling y'all is, look, y'all, Fauci created, and you know what's weird? All these old ass politicians are creating these viruses and doing all these things. It's like, dude, y'all trying to kill yourself. Y'all, they made these things as equalizers. This virus is an equalizer. It's going to kill off. It's going to be the survive. They made it for the survival of the fittest. That's why they don't want you, and that's why they're able to have it, you know, where it's approved by the FDA and stuff, because that's why they're said hydrochloroquine. Nope. It doesn't work. Ivermectin. No, it doesn't work. All these other things don't work. You know why they have to say that? Because if there's anything that is a possible treatment for COVID, they can't approve the vaccine.
I also read something that the what is
FDA.
It? No, what is the drug that they're giving people, the like cell thing? What is that? Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up.
I have no idea what he's saying.
Mono something.
Monocellulite.
No, monochloric.
Chloroquine.
Anyway, whatever the treatment is.
Chlorophyll.
There is a treatment that they've been giving people, and Texas being one of the states that they're not mandating stuff in, the government is basically supplying these, and it's federally controlled as to what states get how much. They reduce the amount that Texas is getting to where, you know, people aren't able to get this treatment as much. I forget where I saw that, and I will try to bring it. If I find the article, I will put it in the video right here.
Texas just needs to succeed, bro. Like, we just need to back all the way to fuck off, bro. Like, you know what? We like who we are. We're Texas. We're a big enough state. We produce a lot of our own shit. We should just back off until they get their shit together, bro.
So that's the weird thing that you're seeing, and especially like, so we're going to get off the topic of treason a little bit, but so when you're talking about California right now and the recall election that they just went through and that failed. So Larry Eldridge is not going to become governor of California anymore. Gavin Newsom's going to stay governor.
Because they cheated.
Well, we can't say that they cheated, but there were irregularities that were found, and people have reported that they were experiencing when they went to the booth to vote, that their vote had already been counted. But doesn't mean that anything fishy happened, just that's some people are reporting that. But when you're talking about like the secession of states, right? And anybody that's in California right now, that they allowed this man that has handled it pandemically awfully, that has crippled the economy, that has allowed the homeless rate to skyrocket, that has not done a good job controlling the environment out there with the wildfires and the forest fires.
Horrible.
I mean, when you go through the list, I mean, just about every single thing that he's done, the crime rate is increased significantly. He is not running the country or the state very well.
Well, the biggest state in the country.
So, and it's one of the fifth largest economies, I believe, in the world.
Oh yeah, it's ruined right now though.
Oh yeah. So if you are a Republican or an independent that is tired of seeing these Democratic policies ruin your state, get out.
Don't come here trying to change shit, though.
No, well, what I'm saying is, if you're of like mind and you see that, you know, these policies are hurting and that there needs to be change, come somewhere where your vote's going to matter. Come to a red state, come to a purple state where your vote can actually change the outcome of that state and change it for the better. Because you have so many people right now that are disenfranchised by the Democratic Party, and they try to pretend like it's not, but it extremely is, especially amongst independents, right? Mm-hmm. And the approval rating for Biden shows that independents are extremely upset about what has been going on and what he's been doing. Go to one of these states where your vote matters. California is a lost cause at this point. There's nothing that's going to change.
We just got to let that play out, man. We just got to let the truth come out. And guys, everybody just stay patient, man. Like, there's going to be a lot of truth that's going to come out, because what's going on right now, everyone, is a lot of hands in a pot. And when you have a plot like they have, trying to do what they're doing, as these lefties are out there acting crazy and shit, bro, eventually they got to account for human error, and they got to account for greed. Okay? Someone's going to want more money. Somebody's going to snitch. Somebody's going to leave something somewhere. Someone's going to get drunk or something and talk to the wrong person. Someone's going to leave their email open. Someone's going to send the wrong email. Something's going to happen where it's going to be undeniable that the Democratic Party has been up to no good.
Well, and so the question that I have, as far as if you voted for Joe Biden and you're looking at all this stuff play out, and even if you're looking at it through the filter of the left-leaning media and CNN and MSNBC, and they're saying, you know, everything's fine, blah, 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 how are you not experiencing just everyday world things and still saying, oh, yeah, this seems normal? Does it seem normal to you? Like, if you have... if you're a Democrat and you voted for Joe Biden, and you have maybe like a family member that, you know, maybe doesn't agree with you 100%, but you see the draconian rules that they're trying to impose as far as these vaccine mandates, or you see the economy and how much everything is rising. And yeah, some of it has to do with COVID, but things were getting a little bit better toward the end of last year. Yeah. And now they're just going up again. Like, it's not all COVID.
Gas is going down a little bit now in Texas, because it was almost like $3, but now it's kind of $2.50.
So it kind of does that thing and then levels out. So it's about $2.50, $2.70, somewhere right in there is where it's kind of hanging out.
I use gas, buddy.
But even when you're talking about before the pandemic, the gas was almost $2, or not even $2. It was like $1.90.
Man, I was filling up my whole truck tank for like $30.
Yeah, right. So
it was phenomenal.
So, like, I get that a lot of it, but how can you not see, even like with prices of meats and
everything,
milk, and then when you go to these restaurants, right, and they have a little statement that says, oh, we might be out of some items because of a national shortage, right? That's not all COVID. Like, people are going back to work. People have been back to work. Yeah. There are jobs out there for people that want to work. We have a very bad situation right now where people don't want to work because the government's just giving them everything they need, basically.
People are making more money because of COVID sitting at home on their asses, collecting unemployment and things like that, than they do actually working at their jobs.
Right. I saw a meme today that it was a picture of this little fat white kid that got a little participation trophy, and he says, oh, I didn't do anything, but I still get a trophy. And then he's got another picture of him as an adult, as a fat old white guy. And he's like, oh, I don't do anything. I don't work, but I still get a government check. It's like, that's kind of the mentality that we've...
For real.
Not me and you. When I say we've, as the American people, have kind of raised our kids under in the last generation or so. Yeah. Is that you don't actually have to work for what you're going to get.
And you know what? There are a lot of people on my side. Excuse me. That, you know, the government thing is, you know, dude, like, my family was up on government assistance and stuff growing up. You know, it's just like, that's all that we saw. But now that I'm older, I kind of see what it is. And I understand that people go through certain situations and people live certain lives. But, you know, I was one of the people that grew up with less than most. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up in a bad situation too. But I didn't live my whole life like that.
Right.
But I started to see that it's really a mindset, man. Like to live off the government, to live like even like to be homeless. It's a mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying every homeless person can up and, you know, change their life around in a week or a year and do this, do that. But I'm just saying that you got to be a certain type of person to sit there every day and say, I don't want to do shit today.
Yeah, it's this mindset of, oh, you know, either, and not to rag on anybody, but it's a mindset of either saying, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make something of myself, regardless of what it is. Whether even if you go out and you're like, I'm going to be the best person that I can be, and I'm going to work at McDonald's, and I'm going to be the best person that flips burgers.
Right.
Like, it's that mindset of being the best at whatever you're doing versus, oh, well, this is just owed to me, so, you know, somebody should just give me something for it.
Right. Because there's a lot of people who, they go to work and they have a bad attitude and they're pissed off all the time.
It's bad work ethic.
It's like, dude, like, don't be mad that you're at where you are right now. Like, you can't be upset at anyone but yourself.
Yeah.
If you got a shitty job, look in the mirror. If you have a life that you don't want, look in the mirror. Like, it doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what you've been through in your life. Someone took the same position that you're in right now, and they fucking won with that shit. Yeah. I don't want to hear nothing. That's why I don't have sympathy for people, bro. Yeah. Because I grew up a certain type of way, and people that normally grew up like me didn't make it.
Yeah. But and there is a certain aspect when it comes to like welfare and stuff like that, that there should be a certain amount that is reserved to help people that are struggling, that are in that. You know, it might be a circumstance that's totally out of your control. You know, something, you know, say there's a kid that his dad, you know, dies or something like that. And now he's left with his single mother, and his single mother is working her ass off to do everything she can to make that kid, you know, able to succeed in his life. Right. There should be things in place, but I think that should come more from a local government. You know, your local churches. Churches are huge in trying to help people that are in those kind of situations. And I think we should be, as you know, Christians and as Republicans and as Democrats, we should be willing to give more to help other people rather than expecting that the government do that. The government, it's not the government's job to come in and hold your hand and help you out with stuff. That was never the intention for government. The government was put in place to protect your rights. Right. That was it. There was nothing more to it. The government was there to protect your rights and protect the people of America. Beyond that, we've just added stuff that has crippled our society and made us weaker and more dependent on government. True.
But also, too, as our government started developing, there are just certain things that the government had to step in and do. Like, somebody has a family, he's a soldier, he dies at war. You know, it's like the government takes care of that person's family. But I understand
that's like that is the core function of the government, though.
Yeah.
Is that the military is a core function of the government to protect the people. And so if you die in the line of service, then yes, the government is responsible. And as an American people, we are also responsible and we owe that person that went out and sacrificed to give them everything that we can to make their family able to get through. And it's not even about money necessarily, because no amount of money is going to bring that person back.
Facts.
No amount of money is going to help that family get through what they're going through, but that's one less thing that they would have to worry about.
True story.
And we treat our veterans like shit in this country.
Dude, the VA smells like piss and death. Most of y'all will never even go there, but the simple fact that, like, going there and the service that we get, going there and being questioned about everything that we've done. Like, dude, come on, bro. Like we deserve whatever we're going in there for, and people should provide us a service with a smile on their face, you know, and we don't get that, you know, and like we're sending over $1 billion to Afghanistan right now, when literally that $1 billion could take every veteran off the streets, provide them with, you know, a way to get batting, stable housing, you know, mental health care.
That's a huge one that dude, not a lot of people talk about, is the mental health care of it.
We got all these homeless people. We got all these things, like especially homeless veterans, dude. So you're telling me you'd rather send our enemy $1 billion than to take that same $1 billion and to go get every veteran off of those streets who serve for our country and give them some kind of stability? Like, come on, bro. Like, there's no reason. And this is why I question our government. It's because we're in debt trillions and trillions of dollars. Like, a person can't even count $1 trillion in their lifetime.
No. Yeah.
If you count it every day for the rest of your life for 24 fucking hours a day, you couldn't count $1 trillion. And we're giving that much money away on a regular basis.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely, it's damn near
treason.
Criminal.
It's treason, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, when I was overseas serving this country, I even saw government officials giving money, millions of dollars, to these crooked Iraqi officials and shit. I seen it with my own eyes. So no one can sit here and tell me that we don't have the money, we don't have the budget. These fuckers print money every day. That's one thing that we should have learned from COVID, is that they can print money whenever the hell they want to print it. But you're telling me you can't print off a couple of billion to help these people living in the streets, these people that are mentally unstable and mentally unhealthy? Man, come on, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right? We got all these orphaned American kids and shit coming in, but we want to spend all the money on the illegal aliens and shit coming in here, right?
Yeah.
We should be spending money to stop them from coming in so we could focus on what the fuck we got, instead of bringing in an extra 100, 200,000 people a month over the border. How are we going to take care of this? I'm not saying that we shouldn't bring in immigrants by any means.
No.
What I'm saying is, one, we need to protect our American people, and two, we want them to come over the right way so that we can protect them.
Right. So it kind of boils down to like the core principle of, if you're coming to this country, you should be assimilating to our values.
Facts.
Right. And so a lot of these, and I'm not going to say a lot of these, but some of these people that are coming over illegally, they don't care about, what our values are as Americans. They just care that, oh yeah, this is a good country to be in, a good country to make money, a good country, blah, blah, blah. So it goes back to, we have to make sure that at the core, we have a country.
Facts.
That starts, number one, by having borders, right? You can't have a country without borders. If you don't have a country with borders, it's not really a country. It's just a place where you go.
Right. It's just free reign.
Free reign. You can say wall is racist, whatever, but it has been proven that the wall helps to a significant capacity. The other thing is overstayed visas, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to cut back, and we need to find the people that are overstaying their visas and get them deported. Once everybody is, out of the country illegally, then we can start letting people in, and we need to reform our immigration policies to where it's easier for these people to come in that want to be a part of our system, that want to be part of our country, that love America.
Right.
It needs to be easier. It doesn't need to be, this 2-year wait, 3-year wait, 4-year wait. It doesn't need to be that long. It needs to be a way faster process. That way we can get these people in and put them to work, and they can start contributing to our society.
And paying fucking taxes.
Right.
Like, for me as an American, we're paying like 60% in taxes, bro. We have people coming over here, and like, everybody, y'all have to understand, like, I'm a minority, bro. And as a minority, I watch all this shit that goes on from my people, from other minorities. Like, dude, it's nuts. And the fact that someone can just come over here, have 6 kids, and they don't have to pay not one dime in healthcare. They don't have to pay one dime in taxes. They don't have to pay one dime to the American people. Like, dude, no. This is why we have the issues that we have. This is why everyone's hating each other. It's because we're putting ourselves in a situation. I understand they're your family members. I understand that. But if they're your family members and you care, why bring them over here in a position where they might be taken away, instead of saying, hey, look, this is the correct way for you to become a citizen. I can help you. I'm already a citizen. Let me help you do it.
I can kind of tell you right now that a lot of it has to do with our current immigration policies.
True.
So again, it kind of goes into how hard it is for them to get into the country, and a lot of that is because of our government and how slow it is on bringing people in.
Facts.
So when it comes down to it, do you either risk bringing somebody in and maybe they get deported, or do you wait the 5 years, 6 years, however long it takes, where they could be in pretty bad situations back home. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a really tough situation. So when it comes down to that's the hard part of that. And a lot of that has to do with the policies that we have in place. And we need complete immigration reform. That's boiled down. Like, the Republicans aren't doing it right. The Democrats aren't doing it right. Nobody's really doing it right.
No. I just, honestly, bro, I really do feel that we need to drain the whole swamp. I mean, both sides. I mean, Democrats, Republicans. I think all of these
coming down to a point, and especially, you know, with how passionate me and you are, I think we're at a point now where government needs to be brought back to the basics.
Yeah. Do you know, earlier you said that, you know, like vaccines and stuff were a certain way back in the day. You know, they did one job and then that was it. You know, it happened, you know. You also said something about the government and how the government was different, but you got to understand this too. And what I had, you know, what dawned on me is the government didn't fuck with people back in the day. These politicians, they got handled, bro. Yeah. Like back in the 40s and the 50s and shit, in the 60s, like, bro, like they were putting the work to these politicians. If these politicians were doing some illegal shit, they were doing some faulty shit, they got found, they got touched. They did not, our great grandparents did not put up with shit, bro.
No.
These government officials would never in their wildest dreams do what they're doing right now to our great grandparents.
And I think a lot of that is just the total mindset of the American people that has changed so dramatically. And like you're saying, like back then, you know, our grandparents, they were tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were ready. They were about to smoke. They were about all that.
They had been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Like every day of their life there was something. They've been through some stuff.
They were ready to fight, man. And they were in the streets.
Our society now is so freaking coddled.
They're so soft, bro. We're soft. We want that's why a majority of people didn't like Trump, was because Trump orange man bad, right? Like Trump he didn't apologize. He wasn't sensitive.
He hurt people's feelings.
He hurt people's feelings. He said the wrong thing.
Safe space?
Like, dude, like how about we grow the fuck up? Right? Like, when are we going to have adult conversations? When are we going to look up the reality of it and just say, hey, you know what? He might have said it insensitive, but he's right. You know, he's, you know, like he did his fucking thing. And a lot of y'all miss him now, but I don't really see a lot of Biden stickers. You know, I don't see anybody.
So that was kind of the thing about Biden, though, is that I don't know many people that voted for Biden. Right? Mm-hmm. Let me explain that. They didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump.
Facts.
Like it wasn't like, oh, Joe Biden's going to be the one that unites us and blah, 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 blah. No, it was, we have to get Trump out. Yeah. And this is the warm body that we're throwing at it. Yeah. Because, you know, he's the least threatening person there is. Right.
Well, shit, he's not even a person, really. He's like on his
like
last
leg. Yeah, he just kind of sits there.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Ernie. You remember Weekend at Bernie's? It's Bernie, right? And they had the dead body.
He's like, hey, we're going to a press release.
Yeah. And they just played a little song, and they just bring some ice cream out, and he just starts walking. You know, It's just like, man. Like, people, like, we got to just wake up, man. Like, if you don't see what's going on right now, then you're listening to the wrong information sources, because you need to stop letting people tell you what you need to listen to and what you need to do. And you need to start listening to both sides. You need to start listening to people who you normally don't listen to. Like I say, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. You know, like, I'm nothing. I am a fact seeker.
So I will say that when you're touching on the subject of going out there and looking at different sources, is me personally, I go out and I listen to liberals talk. I listen to CNN. I listen to MSNBC. I listen to Fox. I listen to Louder with Crowder. I listen to Timcast IRL. I listen to Joe Rogan. I listen to, like, there is a litany of things that I listen to, and I take in information from all sides, like, you know, and I'm able to parse that out then and decide where I fall in that spectrum of things. Whereas a lot of these people on the left, you know, the only sources of information they're getting are, you know, CNN, MSNBC, NPR, like all these left-leaning sources. When was the last time y'all turned on Fox News and actually listened to a whole segment on Fox News? Just a question. If you haven't done that, if you haven't gone out and sought the other side of the coin and what they're saying, then not only are you not able to form your arguments more than, you know, you would if you didn't, but you're also doing yourself a huge disservice by not taking in as much information as you can about the subject, because generally the answer will be somewhere in the middle. Facts. Like you got far right, you got Fox News, you got far right, you got CNN, but at somewhere in the middle is where that's going to meet, and you shouldn't be all the way on one side or the other.
True.
You should be seeking information, try to narrow that down and try to figure out where the truth is.
True.
And it's not going to come easy. It's going to be hard to, especially if you're somebody that your whole life you've been sitting there listening to left-leaning sources, and you've kind of been, I don't want to say brainwashed, but kind of brainwashed by it. It's going to be really hard for you to step out of your bubble, and you're going to feel uncomfortable going into these other news sources. You're going to feel uncomfortable hearing what the other side has to say and how they have to say it. But guarantee you will come out a better person, even if you keep your same views. Even if you keep your same views, at least you know what the other side is saying, and you can understand and have a conversation with them about it.
Facts.
So,
and you know what else, though? Another thing is, everyone has the right to their own opinions, people, right? If you get upset because someone else's opinion doesn't match yours, you're the problem, right? If you can't sit there as an adult and listen to what triggers another adult, then we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like
we've devolved into that so much where we're just so unwilling. And not where, again, the greater we of America, we're so unwilling to hear what the other side has to say.
Facts. If someone's let's just take this vaccine thing just for a second. There is a group of people out there, say us, that are super passionate about not getting the jab. Like, dude, like, I'm ready to go to war over protecting my body and my family's body. Like, I'm ready. Like, y'all think that like BLM protest was bad, and y'all think like I am so ready. I miss those, but I will not miss the protest if we get to that point for protecting my body. Now, the fact that we are that passionate about that doesn't alarm you, and it doesn't make you want to ask Jarvis, hey, man, why are you so passionate about not wanting to take this vaccine, man? Like, what is the problem, man? Like, why are you so ready? As a veteran, man, you protect this country. You took a bunch of vaccines when you went over to Iraq, dude. Like, why now are you? Because I have a choice. And if you do not respect my choices or someone else's choices, regardless of what it is, that's like us saying, hey, if you got the vaccine, we don't talk to you. We don't fuck with you. We don't agree with you. We don't want to be around you. We don't want to be in your presence. We're not like that. Yeah. And the people who are not getting the vaccines that are anti-vaccine, we're not angry at the people who got the vaccine. But why are the people who got the vaccine so upset with us? Right? Yeah. If you got the vaccine, you're fine. It doesn't even protect you from getting the virus, and it doesn't protect you from giving it. Yeah. So why are you so upset?
The thing about it too, and this just came out recently, or I don't know how recent, but fairly recently, is that you're 92% protected from getting the virus if you get the vaccine. 92%. 92%. Cool. That means 8% of the time you're still going to get the virus. You're going to show symptoms about half of that time, right? So 4% of the time you're going to show symptoms, 4% of the time you're going to be just fine, very mild, whatever. If you've had COVID, you want to take a guess at how protected you are?
99.9.
Nah, 92. 92% protected from getting it again. That's the same.
Follow the money, people.
That's the same.
Follow the money. Follow the money. That's all I'm going to say. Follow the money. See, just go out and just look at a couple of things, people, and you don't even have to go deep into a rabbit hole. Just follow them. Look at who owns the patent to the COVID virus. Just go look. Just Google it. It's public knowledge. Google is on your side, people. Google it. They'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly who owns the actual patent to the COVID-19 SARS virus. They will tell you, right? They will tell you. Just look it up, right? Look up the deaths of the virus. Look up the ingredients in this virus. Dude, if you can't even find the ingredients to something and they're being sneaky about even telling you what's in it, that's going to make me ask some more questions. Like, you can't even...
If it doesn't make you ask some questions, then I'm going to mix a little cocktail up. You come over to the house, I'm going to give you a little cocktail. Don't ask me what's in it. Just drink it. Just do it. Because apparently you're gullible as shit.
So Nicki Minaj today, yesterday,
I saw that too.
Nicki Minaj came out and said she's not taking the vaccine because she didn't say no one should take it. She actually told all of her fans, all of her millions of fans to, make sure that if they need the vaccine to get it, and they should wear their mask. She didn't say anything crazy, but she's getting bullied.
Oh yeah.
By people
as an
anti-vaxxer, dude.
And she's come out and she said, like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get it because I have to tour and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get it. Like, she said that. But because she hasn't gotten it yet, and because she had concerns about getting it while she was having her kid and everything,
they're ripping her alive. But look, this is the nail in the coffin, though. Guess who they interviewed to talk about Nicki Minaj?
Oh, let me guess, Fauci. Did I get it right? Did I get it right?
The Fauci, right? And guess what the Fauci said? She said, well, let me tell you what Nicki said first. Okay. Nicki said, I don't want to get it because my cousin's friend got the vaccine and his balls were enlarged and he had some complications, right? So she was just like, hey, because of that, I'm making the decision. I'm making this decision. I'm not going to get it because it has it hit too close to home. Someone that I knew ended up having side effects. That enough right there for Nicki Minaj was there enough to say, I don't want to get it. The Fauci came up and said, there are absolutely no women who have ever had any pregnancy issues after getting the vaccine. There has not, he said it clear as day. There are no side effects of women on birth defects or deaths of babies or women who have gotten the vaccine. This dude looked at y'all and lied, bro.
Yeah. So that's one thing that's driving me crazy right now because my wife is pregnant, and I've been going to her OB appointments with her.
They let you in though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So they have been letting me in. But that's one thing that's driving me crazy about her doctor. And her doctor, mind me, she's a very nice lady. And we've known her. She delivered our first child. Mm-hmm. So we've known her for a very long time. Shelby knew her even before then. She's been her OB since she was a teenager. Like, very good relationship with her. But it's driving me crazy. Every single time that we go in there, she always asks us about vaccination. And I'm like, she's pregnant. Like, why are we've had the coronavirus. Like, there's studies out that show that you're just as protected if you've had the virus as you would be if you got the vaccine. Why do you ask every single time we go in there whether or not we've gotten the vaccine, whether or not we want information? It makes zero sense to me, and I want to snap so bad to
It's like going to Jimmy John's or Subway, and they were like, "Do you want extra meat, extra cheese?" Fucking no, I don't want extra meat, extra cheese. That's how we feel, bro. Stop asking. Like, that's how we feel when we take Major to the doctor. Mm-hmm. We stopped taking him to certain doctors because all they want is, did you get him? Fuck no, we didn't.
Yeah,
he's half a black kid. Dude, y'all not finna kill my son and give him autism, bro. No.
So I've had that conversation with my oldest doctor. And it drove me crazy that every single time I go in there, they're like, "Oh, do you want to get the flu shot?" I'm like, "No, we don't want to get the flu shot."
Is that still a thing?
Oh, you should get the flu shot because it really helps with the symptoms and everything like that. And this same person that's sitting there telling me that I should get the flu shot is the same person that gets sick every single year with the flu. And I'm like, it's not working like you think it is. Like, yeah, it dumbs down your symptoms, but we have also never had the flu. And so I'm not going to start injecting my kids with, whatever.
This flu just that y'all make up every year. Y'all make up a new flu vaccine every year.
It's not even like, it's not made up, right? So there is significant evidence that vaccines do have, good things that they do, right?
That's okay.
There's significant evidence to it. Now there is some underlying their side effects, and there are some studies that show that maybe autism is increased in boys being vaccinated and stuff like that.
Black boys.
So there is countervailing evidence to some of that, but for the most part, vaccines are a good thing. But when you're talking about the flu virus, right, that basically transforms every single year, right,
twice a year.
In order to make a vaccine for the current flu that's going on, it takes time.
Right.
By the time that comes out, they're already behind the new strand of the flu.
Because they're waiting to get a hold to the new flu.
So
they haven't made it yet.
It's not even protecting you to that degree. So in my mind, why put that risk onto your kids that they might, get some sort of adverse side effects from it, or they might be sick because they took the shot. If we're doing the proper things during flu season, we're washing our hands. We're not going out when people are sick. We're not hanging around sick people. We're covering our coughs. Like, if we're taking the proper precautions to stop ourselves from getting sick, then there's no point to go and getting the vaccine.
Not to mention, in all of those, like you're talking about the chicken pox and things like that came out when our grandparents were alive.
Well, the chicken pox vaccine was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And when you were a kid.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, all of these older vaccines that came out, especially like when we were a kid, like before the flu vaccine came out, right? Those were all solid vaccines. Those took years and years and years to create, bro. Like, they mastered those. There were actually some of them they took off the market because they killed 3 or 4 people, right? And they took them off the market.
Like I was saying earlier about those, is basically every single one of those other vaccines, it's a one and done. Yeah. Like, you might have to get a couple shots while you're a little kid, and you'll have a couple boosters. But after you reach the age of like 7,
you're good.
You're done.
You don't need no more shots in the ass.
Freaking 20 or something like that. Yeah. And you get one more, and then you
gotta get like the hep. You gotta get the hep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's itchy out there. Hey, young people, it's itchy out there. Be careful.
But like, so when it comes down to this whole coronavirus mandate and them trying to force us to get a vaccine that they know is not going to last.
Nope.
I mean, it's already wearing off. They're already talking about boosters. It hasn't even been a year?
Not even a year, bro.
And they're already talking about getting boosters and
dude, like, think about this though. So our government, how many people? What did Joe say? We had 80 million people in America.
Oh no, 330 million.
Oh, 300. So he said 500 million, didn't he? Something like that. Well, obviously Joe was alive, but anyways, we have all these people in America. So let's just say they automatically assumes we got 350 million people in America. Let's just say.
Okay.
They bought 350 million vaccines.
Times 2.
Right. Times 2 plus the booster. How many trillions of dollars is that?
My head hurts just trying to think about it.
People, they don't even look. They don't even pay as they give the vaccine. It's like, okay, we have this vaccine. No.
It's over $1 trillion if just every vaccine costs $1. Yeah. Which, okay, our health industry, yeah, sure, everything costs $1.
Everything costs $1, dude. They're making trillions, and then on top of that, they're sending trillions of dollars of these vaccines and shit overseas to where we can't watch the money.
Yeah,
dude. People, y'all have to wake up. All of this money that's going overseas, that's going to help this country, that's going to help this third world country, that's going to help this third world country, dude, it's never reaching them.
Yeah.
The Red Cross in Haiti with the Clintons built 3 houses. They got millions of dollars, and they built like 3 homes.
There is literally corruption throughout our government, and like I said, it needs to come to a stop. And I don't know what that looks like. What's the final straw that brings this whole thing crashing down?
I'm going to get rich, and I'm going to start a task force, and we're going to start snitching on every politician. Watch.
Be part of what is that?
It's gonna be like Cheaters, but it's gonna be for politicians.
It's gonna be the real WikiLeaks. Like, legit. Like, what's up? Taking down everybody.
What you doing in this alleyway? What you doing in this alleyway with this hooker? Get the picture.
But so we'll kind of wrap this up. But again, it's so sad to see how far our government has gone to control people and how detrimental it's been to every single person in the United States. And whether you believe that or not, it's affected you in some way. Maybe you're just turning a blind eye to it, but we really do. We need to sit down and have a long conversation with each other and be able to have that conversation about what we want moving forward in America. Do we want the government to be in control of our everyday lives, what we say, what we think, what we do? Or do we want it to be more like what it was started out as and what it was founded to be, a free society where we get to make our own choices, where we get to make our own decisions, where we have the right to pursue our dreams without implications from the government holding us back? It's got to be a conversation that everybody has to have, and they have to find where they want to land on that spectrum. If they don't want, to be in control of their own destiny, fine. I'm seriously thinking that at some point here in the next 30 to 40 years, there's going to be a split in America. And there was a civil war here before. What makes y'all think there won't be another one? I don't know if it'll be a bloody one. I don't know if it'll be a friendly divorce, but I don't do very well with fighting over a keyboard and the screen, bro. Like I need to be in the moment. Yeah, well, that's why we're doing this podcast. I know. So we can fight. Yeah, I do, man. Again, if y'all like the video, like, share, subscribe. Go to our Instagram, people. Against the Grain Talk Show. Thank you. Twitter, TikTok. We on there. We on everything. We're working on some more stuff. We're working on the podcast, and we're working on we're putting it on is it podcast? So we're working on getting onto Apple Podcast and Spotify. Yes. So hopefully within the next couple weeks we can get that hammered out, and absolutely we'll be back on the next one. So all right. Thank y'all for tuning in, everybody. Catch y'all on the next one.